I absolutely hate these fake travel influencers that only post the best moments, which are just like 20% of their lives, and don't even mention the downsides of traveling full-time. I once saw that video saying, POV, you are 26, everyone your age is getting married, but you're about to board your next flight traveling by yourself. As if you are so special only because you're choosing another path. As if it's so boring and pathetic to start a family instead of traveling full-time. This young family probably has got more joy and more peace than you miserly who has got no real friends. I just want to be very, very clear because I hate that fake social media. And to be fair, of course I love it too. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. And from a language learning perspective, this is literally the best thing you can do. This is how I became fluent in English. 也为什么我开始了学习中文. But still, I will tell you the downsides of traveling full-time instead of just staying in your hometown and therefore your safe and comfy shell, which is no problem. I left my home country, Germany, 2 years ago, and I spent most of the time here in Australia. I moved many times. I lived in my car. I went to Pakistan, Moldova, Switzerland, and now currently I'm preparing to go to China, so I will still travel a couple years. However, the biggest problem is, look around me, loneliness. Not that literally being lonely in the forest. Of course I live in a city, I work with other people, I share my house with other people. And for the first year in Australia I didn't really feel that issue, but recently, so for the last couple of months, I started feeling that innate desire to have more fellowship. This is why I decided to be a bit more active. I am a very introverted person and I need lots of privacy. I need to be by myself most of the time. But I started visiting a weekly Bible study group where I can connect socially with sober and prudent people of my age. The thing is, loneliness does not mean being alone. You can travel with others and yet feel like left out in the cold. Influence is again presented as you meet so many nice people along the way. Yes, but these are not real friends. These are just temporary travel buddies who would not catch a bullet for you and would not even lend you money if you were broke. Due to the fact that I only stayed in one place in a city for a couple of months and I bear in mind that I will move on soon, it's just not possible to build profound relationships. It just doesn't work in a short period of time. This is why I can say I've been in Australia for 2 years and I only have made one true friend. That one friend where we speak with each other on a regular basis and just update each other on our progress and our lives because we care for each other. Just recently I attended his father's funeral because his family was also like a family to me. Of course you might think it depends on you how much effort you put into building up deep relationships. Yes, but trust me, I have tried. If you move constantly, you will have no true friends. Basta.
A king has no friends.
And even if you travel with a friend or a group, that's almost worse. The biggest advantage that you give up then is flexibility. And trust me, that ain't fun. A childhood friend came from Germany and we traveled together for half a year. And though it was super fun most of the time, William doubts me. I'm gonna prove him wrong. I'm gonna prove him wrong. I'm gonna climb up this tree. It was also very difficult at times. You often have to compromise, you don't get your will, and you depend on others. And this is just horrible for me. Some people who are not that autonomous or private and introverted, they might need that to travel in a group. Anyway, just bear in your mind that if you travel, you are away from your family. I have not seen my mom in 2 years now, which is a pity because she is a person that knows me best, and even if I'm an adult, she saw how I pissed myself as a kid. So I will always be her little kid in her eyes, you know what I'm saying? You meet nice people, but unlikely people that you can share your emotional hardships with. Because usually you don't just trust someone after a couple months, and if you do, you are just immature. Hey guys, I know the scene and the look have changed. It's because 1 week passed and I'm on my next hike already, which is super sweaty. So forgive me that. While editing, I noticed that I left out a very important point, which is so crucial that I have to add it here. So the thing is that people who especially travel for a long time, for several years, that they might experience something like an identity crisis sooner or later. Especially someone who stays at one place for a long time and then moves on to the next one. During that time, especially people who are young and open-minded, they absorb the culture and they absorb many new character traits. So take me as an example. I grew up in Germany, so I am German in my behaviors and my attitudes. But then I also speak Russian, so I have lots of Russian humor. And then for the past 2 years I lived in Australia and my brain switched to English, so I have some Aussie blood in me. Plus now I've been studying Chinese for a long time, so that my brain is also filled a lot with Chinese, and learning a language is also learning a culture. And now I'm going to China and probably will stay there for a couple of years as well. And it's so that in every language I have a bit of a different personality, and only with all these languages together I am who I am. So you see, I am very mixed up. However, having a nationality, a feeling of belonging somewhere, is also a fundamental feeling that we humans want to have. And I already started feeling this issue that I don't really know who I am anymore, where my place is. But then recently I saw a video, another British guy who apparently also traveled to many countries and learned their languages, speaks about exactly this issue of not really belonging anywhere. I also remember seeing that other guy lived in Asian countries for a long time, speaks their language fluently, but listen to what he has got to say.
Remember that fact. You're always going to be a foreigner. There's nothing culturally that's going to change that. A Mandarin-speaking foreigner is still a Mandarin-speaking foreigner. You'll gain the respect. You'll never be like the Chinese.
So this is also something that I'm aware of already, that even if one day I will be able to speak Chinese fluently, I will never be one of them. Just because I'm white and I'm a round eye. And this should be also taken seriously, because it can actually cause some serious depressions that you don't fit in anywhere. And by the time you think you want to go back to your home country, you are already so diluted and mixed up in your cultures because you absorb all the other cultures, and then you also can't really identify with your home country anymore. So when I left Germany, I was not the same person as I will be when I return, because there are a few years in between in which I immersed into other cultures and languages, and therefore I will be a different person, not 100% true blue German anymore, so to say. No matter where you travel in the world, no matter how close you live to the people, you will never be one of them, and that will give you the feeling of not really belonging anywhere. And now let's get back to the beautiful forest of last week. Another point is, if you are broke and poor, like me, because I don't have a degree, that even rhymes, then you can only earn money with casual jobs. And that will bring you lots of financial struggles. You have to know how to spend your money wisely. And you gotta know how to distinguish between what you really need and what you just want right now. Wow, so beautiful. As a casual employee here in Australia, you can lose your job anytime, and you don't have any sick leaves or anything like that. Why is it such a big problem? Well, because you will have no stable safety feeling. And being financially secured, in other words having your daily bread and a roof above your head, is one of our humans' basic needs. And not knowing if you will still have ongoing work and income next week, trust me, that will really mess with your mind.
It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Therefore, it's not that bad to have a secure 9-to-5 job with a weekly paycheck, because you have something that travelers don't have. You feel safe. And there is also no guarantee that everything will work out. You can literally end up on the streets if you have no backup. I also had to borrow money from family sometimes because the situation was really bad. If you're sitting at home, studying, or working in a hamster wheel, and you're dying to see the world, then first ponder on these things a little bit and ask yourself if you're ready, if this is really what you want and what you are. It's a very lonely journey, it's full of risks, but through these experiences you gain lots of maturity and perseverance. Anyway, alright guys, that was a bit more of a personal video again, but next time I'll see you with a language learning related video. Bye bye, auf Wiedersehen, до свидания, Wally, 再见.